Dear Mona, do you want a boy or a girl? That was the question your mother and I heard most when we shared the news that you were on the way. It's a playful question, but a strange one too. The way a parent answers reveals so much: their deepest priorities, their quiet ambitions, and the kind of guide they hope to be. My own answer might surprise you, but before I share it, I want to show you first what led us to even consider having you. Little Mona, look at you.
Perfect. 자, 간다.
This is Kylo and Henzi, the first boys you have ever met. They are Kevin and Lily's kids, and quite frankly, an inspiration to your mom and I. Seeing Kylo and Henzi grow up affected us greatly. I remember holding Henzi's hand one time. He turned and looked up at me with the confident smile of Kevin and the warm eyes of Lily, and I felt for the first time the electricity of children. I wondered to myself what a small version of me would look like, act like, think like.
일어나라고 해봐, 얘들아. 일어났어? 어.
지금 아직 다 간다. 근데 쫓아.
My greatest vice is that I am extremely impatient. I want to see the result of my work quickly. I want to know the outcome. I look at Kylo and Henzi playing with water guns and I think, I want to do that with you. I can't wait till you get old and we can play.
맞다. 잘한 거 맞다.
But in this situation, all I can do is wait. Wait and put the water guns I bought deep into the storage closet. Henzi, what is that? Henzi, what is that, a necklace? Show me your necklace. Show me your necklace.
Who made that for you?
Did you do that? Your mother comes from a line of daughters. Your Halmoni's brothers and sisters all had daughters. 7 girls in total. I, on the other hand, come from a line of boys. People often ask me if I wanted a daughter or a son. Of course, all I wanted was a healthy baby. But when it came down to gender, I was actually hoping for a girl. The reason is quite simple, actually. Throughout my life, I've noticed a pattern in the relationships daughters and sons have with their parents. Skipping the rocky adolescent years, daughters tend to have a better relationship with their parents later in life, calling them more often, visiting more frequently, and just communicating better overall than sons. I have seen this in other families, but I also see it in myself. I mean, look at me. I live 3,000 kilometers away from my parents, and I used to call them maybe once a month. Now that I'm on the other side of the equation, I see things from a different perspective. You are a true patriot, Mona. Even in your sleep, you are saying, Manse. Unfortunately, whenever I capture you, it is disproportionately at times when you sleep. This is because my hands are free and I can actually film you. But it's also because I like watching you sleep. It looks like you are floating weightlessly on a cloud. No fears, no stress, no discomforts, just pure white heavenly sleep. But it's also fun when you open your eyes. And we want to keep you occupied. We want to grab your attention. Your mom and I have started reading some books to you. Although you have no idea what we are saying, your tiny little brain is still working in overdrive, forming patterns, creating associations, and building memories. Many people assume that since I speak English and Greek, you will also just pick it up. But unfortunately, learning language is not a passive experience. Babies do not learn the language you speak to them. They learn the language you speak to your spouse. They learn by seeing how the language is used between their parents, their family, and friends, etc. Since you are in Korea, Korean is all around you, and you will have plenty of exposure of the language. English, however, is limited. Greek is rarely used. So even though your mom and I are more comfortable communicating in Korean with each other, we are intentionally using English in order to give you the information you need to understand. This is beef cheek with caramelized onions open sandwich. Even though it's a nice meal, these days your mom and I rarely have the chance to sit together and eat. We eat in shifts. So after I make the meal for your mom, I take care of you while she eats. Then she does the same while I eat. Once you do fall asleep, I begin the big cooking session. Your mom gets sick of eating chicken breast salad, so I try to make more variety. A day, I made kotosupa with avrolemono. It is a classic chicken soup recipe every Greek grandmother knows how to make. As the chicken cooks, I shape my bread to cook for tomorrow. By that point, you are awake and ready for some more stories and playtime.
길어서 코끼리예요. 짜잔! 목이 긴 동물이네요. 이름이 뭐죠? 기린. 안녕 기린아. 목이 길어서 너무 좋겠다. 나는 아직 목이 짧아.
Avrolemono in Greek means egg lemon. This is something we add in soups to make the broth more rich in flavor. Be careful putting it in the hot soup directly though, because you could actually cook your eggs. The trick is to temper it. Slowly add soup and whisk the eggs to bring them up to the right temperature. Sometimes I take for granted how fortunate my situation is. I have a beautiful wife and child, but even more fortunate than that is the fact that I can spend this time with you. I can see you grow right in front of my eyes. I notice the little dots on your face that were not there last night. I see you hold your gaze a second longer than yesterday. Sometimes I can even see your tiny lips curl up into a smile. Seeing you happy brings me a sense of joy I've never felt before. Before having you, I thought I had experienced the entire gamut of emotions life had to offer. But here you are, silently proving me so wrong.